Welcome to La Chontalpa, one of Mexico's most famous cacao regions. La Chontalpa is in Tabasco State, near the Caribbean coast, and has a perfect climate for cacao, meaning hot and steamy. The people of La Chontalpa have been growing cacao for 3,000 years. Over that time, they've chosen some favorites, mostly Criollo strains, with white beans that are low in bitterness. They call these beans almendra blanca. In the 1940s, a man named Carlos Echeverria inherited an abandoned cacao farm in La Chontalpa. He named it Finca La Jolla. Carlos began experimenting with the trees, breeding them together to create the ultimate white bean variety. Eventually, he came up with a winner. It had an incredibly rich, buttery flavor. He called it Carmelo.
Fine chocolate started as an industry in the 90s, at the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
So there were not many fine cacao origins, but Mexico was there.
In the 1990s, Carlos's daughter, Clara Echeveria, took over the farm. The fine chocolate craze was just starting in Europe. Companies were competing to get their hands on the most delicious and unusual beans they could find. And Clara was ready. She built Finca La Jolla into a classy estate. And chocolate makers beat a path to her door to get their hands on Finca La Jolla's white beans.
Finca La Jolla was the first legendary Mexican cacao.
Mi nombre es Rosanna Hernandez Echeverria. Mi mamá era Clara Echeverria Díaz. Mi abuelo Carlos Echeverria Valenzuela.
Clara's daughter, Rosanna Hernandez Echeverria, still lives near Finca La Jolla and thinks a lot about her mother's legacy.
Y todo esto es con respecto a la almendra blanca, pues es una cuestión de familiar.
Unfortunately, Clara died in 2013, and Rancho La Jolla fell apart.
Cuando mueren mis padres, se lo dejan de herencia a mi sobrino, al hijo de mi hermano menor. Pero muere mi hermano menor también, que él era prácticamente el encargado del rancho. Entonces toma posesión mi sobrino, que no sabe absolutamente nada de campo. Durante un tiempo, pues más o menos cosechaban. Actualmente, la verdad es que me entristece porque es una ruina. Yo creo que pasaron por ahí, ¿no?
We did. We stood outside its locked gate and flew a drone over the estate. Everything was in ruins. That could have been the end of the story. Just another great heirloom cacao variety, lost to the sands of time. But this is a different story.
The pandemic came around and I was thinking how I can be involved in here because I was kind of missing home. The first idea was I'm gonna start making chocolates, and I started speaking to people like Carmen and other people and they told me first, if you want to make chocolate, first you have to understand how to ferment. I was my training. I messed up my first two lotes. They were over fermented because I was really I was making pruebas de corte and it has to be perfect. And the team and my mom were like, bueno.
Meet Alma Peralta, Clara Echeveria's great niece. Alma is an architect, but when the pandemic hit, she decided to move back home to the family farm, just down the road from Finca La Jolla. Alma became enchanted by the family legacy of Carmelo. So she grafted a few of the remaining trees from Finca La Jolla and began her own farm, which she calls Figo Las Delias.
She inherited, she used the same variety, which was the same almendra blanca.
Alma taught herself to farm the cacao organically and biodynamically.
At the end of the day, cacao is a fruit. When you go to commercial farms of peaches or stone fruit or whatever, that's what you see, trees in a row, and they prune the trees, they fertilize the trees, in this case, organically.
It's still a work in progress, but today, Figo Las Delias has restored Carmelo's reputation for incredible chocolate.
And it's a very interesting cacao because it's so white, it's so pure, so to speak, that when you make chocolate, it looks like milk chocolate even at 100% cacao. It's not bitter at all.
We know we are fortunate to have this kind of variedad, which is Criollo, but also as I've been learning a lot and talking to other chocolateros, I think also it's important to not encourage the cacaoteros which already have their cacao tal, telling them that those varieties are not good.
Cuando la industria entra a hacer chocolate, estandariza un sabor a chocolate. Pero se lo puede hacer echándole 35% de cacao y sigue sabiendo a lo mismo en México o en Suiza o en Estados Unidos. Pero cuando tú haces chocolate a partir de semillas de origen, puedes encontrar una diversidad de sabores en chocolate. Entonces yo creo que ahorita estamos en una etapa de justo valorar organolépticamente y nutricionalmente toda esa parte de la diversidad.
Las nuevas generaciones que aprendan lo que es el cultivo, pero hasta ahorita no se ha podido. Creo que somos la gente ya de esta edad, pues ya después de nosotros no sé qué vaya a suceder porque empiezan ya los jóvenes a pensar en carreras, en estudios, campo, cero. Cero.
1 y 2.
I thought that she never come back. She was Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, Argentina, working, and she's never coming back. But something happened with the pandemic.
La pandemia la hizo traer acá y a varios jóvenes, pero pues de las gentes más valiosas los chicos de Punto Quebradero pues también son profesionistas y súper talentosos, pero aman el cacao y entonces todos esos hay que cuidarlos.
Sí. Alma mía, si no les tengo un regalito, llevo triste el alma mía, si no les tengo un regalito, llevo triste el alma mía.